Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Off Da Binge podcast, a seasonal anime discussion show. So, if it is here your first time to the new channel, welcome. And this is a seasonal show. I'm your host, Legendary Vash, and with me is my co-host Bryant, also known as Crash, or as we like to call him, the Hispanic Assassin. This is your go-to seasonal anime podcast where we dive into the best, the unexpected, the hidden gems of every anime season. Today we're kicking off our first official episode, and we got a lot to discuss, including our full anime lineup and what's kept us binging watching lately. Myself, as your host, Vash the Legend, and I'm Vash, and you know me, I'm all about those long title Isekai adventures, because it's not about the destination, it's about the adventure.
You already know, guys, it's me, Crash, aka the Hispanic Assassin, the anime advisor who has been betrayed by an iconic white-haired waifu for almost a third of my life. This week is very, very, very spicy. I can't wait to go deep into it with you and Ash.
I don't even know if that line is from an actual anime title or if he came up with it. Is like, which one is it? Is it believable that's real? Or is it from a show but he just spin to it? One or the other, it sounds real.
Stay tuned to find out.
But as you hear for the first time of the show, we're here to talk about our seasonal anime. We're in the fall season. And yes, we have a seasonal anime focused podcast. As you could tune into the Anime podcast for a conversational show to talk about the Weebs Lounge, Otaku News, Animation Spotlight, and much more. We're here to focus on our seasonal anime discussion. But before we jump into what we've been watching on our weekly, let's also discuss of what we've been binging current. So let's dive into the fall season. Let's talk about what we've been watching outside of our weekly season of anime and what our recent binges are. So chat, let us know down in the comment section below what have you been watching outside of your fall season. What is your backlog? Have you forgotten about your damn fucking backlog? Go check on One Piece. You know One Piece is taking a 6-month hiatus. You can do 6 episodes a day to catch up. That's not that hard. Just say. But for myself, if you have heard the most recent episode 154 of the Anime podcast, I spoke about watching Dragon Ball Super broadly. So with that being the case, I watched Dragon Ball Super broadly, but I did watch one other anime that I spoke to Crash recently. It was called Dragon Raja, The Blazing Dawn. It's a Chinese anime that I binge watched for within 24 hours, and it was 17 episodes, but it's not fully 24, it's like 21, but if you take out the intro and outro, it's like a good 16 to 18 minutes. I highly recommend it if you like a bit of the dragon stuff and if you like the Chinese lore. I highly recommend it. It's a quick one. Season 2 is airing next year, so I didn't even know there was season 2, and also just like I like to catch up to any backlog or any random anime, and it caught my interest. So, and to be honest, the only reason I saw it is because I saw an IG reel, and it was a scene where a character just got shot mid, like point blank, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then the MC character just did what he did and just shot everyone up. And stay tuned if you see the show. That's literally how I saw it, the reel, and that got me like, what the fuck, what's next? And after that one clip, I saw all 17 episodes in 24 hours.
I gotta take your word for it. I gotta watch it myself now if it's that spicy.
Oh hell yeah. It was good. It had interesting take with the characters and the logic of it. So I enjoyed it very much.
And where can we go watch it if
Crunchyroll. It's on Crunchyroll. With that being the case, I had a good time with it. Crunchyroll, that's the only place I think it has it. Maybe Netflix. Who knows where the distribution nowadays is? Because sometimes it's almost everywhere now. But Crunchyroll is where I saw it.
We're going to take a look into it after this.
And how about you? What have you been watching outside of our weekly animes?
So, like Vash said, we did see the My Hero Academia movie. I have a review coming out very soon. Stay tuned for that. Mid as fuck, no romance, unfortunately, but no spoilers. Just that's the best thing I can say. You could pass on it, but if you are a My Hero Academia fan who just want to see more content, it is a movie. Definitely check out at the very least. Past that, I did finally finish Demon Slayer, which took me a good 8 months to complete. Um, I will say it was highly overhyped. I do believe that it's not all that. The last two seasons, last three seasons that came out, starting with the Entertainment Arc District and therefore, got a lot more better for me personally. The first two seasons were slow as fuck and did not help me want to grasp more into the show. But past the Entertainment District arc and then words, I see the hype now why everybody likes the show. I cannot wait for the next three movies. I hope they come out next year in 2025. But best believe I am waiting for that fight with Muzan and the rest of the Shiras. I can't wait to see how it goes down.
It's
Past
crazy
that, though,
how that anime, the Demon Slayer, came so popular because that damn episode 19 back during the pandemic, I think 2020 was, or I believe it's 2019 is where that first season came out. Just crazy how people just jump over it. I believe one of the Twitch gaming streamers, I think it was Mr. Beast or some other dude, got joined the hype of Demon Slayer as well, and then everyone was talking about like, oh my god, it's the greatest anime ever. I'm like, yeah, it just came for the animation. Like the story is good, but it's literally like book by the numbers from like little girl gets turned into a demon, and either the brother has to save her and fights other demon out of nowhere, and somehow he has a strong bloodline. Like literally is book by numbers in any other storytelling, but just change up into demons, vampires, anything else. But you're gonna tell me episode 19 is what drove everyone to the series, and then it made the billion of dollars from fucking Japan during the pandemic, and is what saved them for being bankrupt just because one damn movie went to Japan in theaters and made so much money. Not
Mugen
rant.
Train,
It's
yeah.
just like fucking Demon Slayer. It just came so big. Shit.
I mean, I'm willing to put a hot take here on the record online for everybody to know, and I don't mean to offend any fans. But me personally, if we're talking just straight story wise, we're talking straight plot. Realistically, Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia have a similar story in the sense that it's good. It has a point A to point B. That's it. Everything else that's got going on for them is literally everything else. With Demon Slayer, you got the animation which kills it, and I 100% agree with that. But past it,
And
it's
plus,
okay.
and plus, look, what turned me off is that you had the creator saying the water animation or the thoughts of what we see, the fire and Goku and everything, it's all illusion. It's not real. So this is where I am like, yo, how you gonna ruin the ideology,
Immersion.
the immersion? Thank you, the ideology, the
Mm-hmm.
immersion, the mystery of your own series. Like, imagine if Oda tells like, yo, guys, I actually don't know what the One Piece is, or
Oh God! Don't even say
or be
that.
like, hey guys, I never thought about it. I'm still trying to figure out if he actually said that out loud. If he told it to his editor, to his best friend, to his wife, cool. But if he told that to the audience, the amount of anger, the amount of investment that people have put for the years for this series will go off the records of the most violent day of the year in history books. So for our author to literally say, yeah, guys, so what happens in Tanjiro when he gets the water or says the silent wave of cut of demon head. So, but I'm like, the water nation just makes it all so beautiful, the music and everything. Even the manga adds the water animation aspect as well. And you're telling me that that's all illusion and takes the immersion out of the fan, of the reader. I'm like, bitch, what? Why are you just saying this? Like, so when I hear that, it's like, sometimes when the creators speak, they should just shut up. Like, there's one famous creator that should just shut up in the West as well, but I'm not going to mention the name here. But it's like, goddamn, like, with Demon Slayer, I'm gonna ignore that. Demon Slayer to me, all fire, water, all the sound, all the hearts, everything real. It's
and
magical
that
in
and
this
that's
world.
and that's the point of the anime. We're here for one of three things. We're here for the story, the plot. We're here for the animation, how good you can animate it coming from out of the manga, and etchy stuff. If we could see 18 plus stuff on the way, too. I would love to see that with a story and animation, but that's just me personally. But real quick, it's funny you bring that up about One Piece because I had seen a little clip on YouTube. I don't remember the people's name. I do apologize for not shouting you out. If I do remember it, I'll definitely bring your name back next episode. But to you, Vash, specifically with One Piece, if you have a chance to ask, the animator, one thing about the show in general, even it could be about the One Piece, who's stronger, character wise, what would you ask him if you only had one question to ask, and it could be anything? Has to answer you truthfully. What question would you ask him?
To the creator like himself,
Yeah, the
like
creator. Yeah, the
to
creator.
Oda
Excuse me, not
himself,
anime.
to the
Yeah,
Oda
the creator.
himself, it's if I could ask a question, is haven't really thought about like the one question, what would it be? Like what's the one piece? Like that's an obvious one. But right now I want to ask who's strongest because to me
Wow.
that's all debatable. Strongest is like in a world One Piece there is no stronger because in these type of stories in protagonist type of shonen stories like this that is like battle the in any type of comics as well, you can't really say who's strongest because there's the strongest is take the writer for Batman stories, Superman stories, for Spider-Man, even for any type of battle story. For a story that is linear, even for One Piece, Luffy lost. I mean, Luffy. For any spoilers of One Piece that people care about for just a battle series, when it comes to One Piece, he fought Kaido, he fought Crocodile, he fought Luffy. Usually, Luffy loses the first 2 rounds against his big bad. But then the third round, he gets the power up or gets that boost or he gets the will of fire from Naruto or for One Piece, the will of D, or so people could call it storyline plot. He gets that power up and he becomes strong and he beats it because he needs to free the country, free the slaves, free the people, or to that point. So for me, when it comes to strongest in any type of stories, even Dragon Ball Z, any other stories like that like it depends on the writer, it depends on the perspective, and it depends on the fan. I love Zoro, but to me, Zoro and Sanji, when it comes to that battle, like yo, they're almost exactly the same. Is there like 100% to 100% who's stronger? Zoro, but I feel like it's 2%. And also, that's like the right hand man of Luffy and the left hand man is Sanji. That literally like is you can't deny that. So who's stronger like that? But then when you go down the list of the rest of the One Piece characters of the ship, like all right, Luffy and Sanji are definitely stronger than Frankie or Robin. That's an obvious. But my one question to Oda is, where the fuck are the moms for Luffy, Garp, and Dragon? Like, are these are just all fucking single dads out here? Like, are they just have their woman and then drop them, or do they just get shot after they get killed because of the government? That's my one question. Because the one question is like, Crocodile has been rumor or idea it has always been to be Luffy's mom. Like that's one of the one of the biggest rumors or speculation or theory with the One Piece community. So when you ask that, it's like, yo, Oda, answer me. Who the fuck is the parents? Like, where the wives at? Because garbage are like, we never heard about the mom. We have had mothers type of figures, but never actual moms. So where's that at? So that's a curious question for me, because in the live action, Crocodile, the character, was a woman in the same scene that we saw in One Piece, the manga and the anime. It was Crocodile himself. So it was a curious question, like, are they trying to tell us that that theory is true? Because Oda wouldn't let that slide. So that's my one question. Like right now in my head, that's my one serious question.
Okay. That's honestly not a bad question at all. Maybe the One Piece is Luffy's mom. We'll never know.
Nah.
No, of course not. But of course, I got a joke on that. Of course.
No worse. To me that makes sense. I know whenever you do get to One Piece, like you can watch 6 episodes a day until the next year to be caught up in case you want to be watching One Piece. Anybody, any fan. I'm guessing you didn't hear the joke of me saying about the 6 episodes to watch One Piece.
No, I chose to ignore it. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing it. 10 episodes. I will watch one more. Will I watch it tomorrow? Will I watch it next year? In 5, 10 years? It's on hiatus right now, as of October of 2024.
Yeah.
So I have 2 months to catch up, but
and we're getting remaster of the Fishman Island arc of new animation, new stuff coming out. So things will be changing in that department. And the hiatus starts, I think, actually starts this weekend. After this episode, there will be no episode next week because of the World Series of the baseball appearing in Japan. So I know that's not happening. Other than One Piece, have you been watching any other series that's not part of our fall season conversation?
Yes. So, like I said, I finished Demon Slayer. But past that, for this season, I am currently watching Dan. I did say last episode that me and Vash had did watch it. If not on this podcast, I did definitely say it on the other Anime Lately podcast. I up to date with that. I'm watching Danmachi season 5. I have a lot to speak on that. Stay tuned. Uh, Also watching MF Ghost season 2, Our Fuera season 3, and continuing from last season, because it is a 24 episode, one season thing. I'm also watching 2.5 Dimensional Seduction.
For me, I was actually trying to catch up and finish from what we spoke about on episode 0. Alaya sometimes has her feelings in Russian. I'm gonna be done with that by next episode 2 of Off the Binge, and I'm gonna be planning to finish as well a few other the of the summer season. I'm trying to knock out like 4 or 5 by next week by episode 2 recording. So I'm planning for that to be exciting.
Okay. I'm a little upset. It hurts me that you haven't finished Alia. That you didn't finish it at episode 12. But you know what? It's
But
cool.
hey,
Life happens.
next week you will give my quick thoughts about it. Right before we speak about our episode of the week in the fall season. So don't worry, I will be watching Alaya. And I'm gonna get back to my Ace of Diamond because I've been slacking on my Ace of Diamond. On my sports. I know that's very cursed for you to hear sports, but I'm gonna be watching some baseball anime since it's baseball season going on right now. So I'm gonna jump into that. The Mets. Let's go Mets.
Yankees for life. I'm glad we got into the World Series, but hey, to each their own. To each their own. I'm sorry for you guys. Sorry for you guys, but we gonna make it to the World Series.
Each to their own, like you said. Any other anime things you wanna bring up before we speak about our episode of the week?
Gonna start watching Ranking of Kings next week. Stay tuned for that. And also I am going to, on the second episode next week, start speaking on my hot or flop list. What is good to watch, but I'm not gonna watch, and what is trash, what to avoid, and what I'm potentially gonna pick up starting next week and onwards. I do have 4 animes in mind that I have not started yet that I want to keep an eye on. I'm not too sure if they're worth watching. I'm keeping an eye on with the ranking itself, the amount of people watching it, and the amount of advertisement that's been put on for the internet. And so far, I think there's only 2 that I might potentially start watching, but I'm going to give it another week before I actually say for sure that I'm going to. So stay tuned for that for next week, where I do speak on that and decide to watch it.
I'll be adding my thoughts when we speak about our fall 2024 anime rankings for that. But like you heard, guys, anime, your high and flop. Okay, wait to hear the debate for next week episode on that. But this is for our third segment of episode of the week. So before we jump into our anime ranking, what was our favorite episode of week 4 for anybody when they count their fall season, their summer, their spring, and their winter? We need to have our weekly because there's usually 12 episodes. So we're on a week 4 of the fall season. So what was your episode of the week, Crash? I'm gonna go to you first to talk to me. What was your episode? What was the dialogue, the animation? What hit to you for this episode to be your number 1 out of the 6 you're watching, out of the 10, 20? What was your one that hit for you?
So I do want to point out immediately major spoilers coming out from the both of us for this week. So if you are not up to date on any of the anime that we are about to speak on, I do recommend to skip this part of the podcast.
There's time code down below in the description. There's time code for the audio and the YouTube side. So please skip if you need to. We're not hurt by it. Enjoy it. Come back to it later and let us know down in the comment section of what you thought about each of our episodes of the week and our anime ranking. We apologize for minor spoilers and anything like that, and we will always let you know ahead of time.
Okay, so that aside now, I'm going to speak on a specific anime, specifically Danmachi. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon season 5? So episode 4 really went off on a wild tangent. I believe, don't quote me on it, it was Seder, me, and God. Don't quote me on the name, I slipping my mind, but the episode starts out pretty much with Seer and Belle in the hotel room, and it looks like things are gonna get very spicy between the two of them. Of course, we see some etchy, lewd things, maybe, a side boob here, a little bit of ass there. And it looks like Bill might get some in the night. However, turns out it's not the case, and he's pushing Sear's feelings away from her because we had heard already last episode that she confessed to him, and again, she's still trying to confess to him her feelings that she loves Belle and she wants to go out with Belle and be with Belle forever. But Belle unfortunately does not feel this way because since episode one, of course, we all know this, but for those that may or may not have picked it up by now, Belle is not in love with Seer. He is in love with Ice, the Sword Princess. So of course,
His
a man
true
of,
love. He's the
yeah.
man of focus. He like, oh, that the one person out of my 12 good 15 years of life that caught my interest. I'm gonna stay on her for the rest of my life. I'm like, girl, boy, there's other fishes in the sea, and you're gonna choose the one that might seem impossible? Okay, Belle, you're the guy, I guess.
So, of course, as a gentleman, as the Chuck Bell is, he denies the feelings for a little bit, brushes it off. They sleep together in the same bed. Nothing happens, and we go into next morning where, oh, gasp! She runs away. So it's one of those one night stand. Damn, she left. She left me inside the bed all alone.
Oh
Okay.
damn! Wow, shit.
So Bell has to go find Seer. He gets some advice from Wolf. Well, excuse me. Saying you better tell her how you really feel, or else I'm not gonna forgive you. Type. Uh, he finds a member of the Freya Familia who was spying on him and Freya in the previous episodes to try to find out her location. Now, bear with me on this because this is where things get interesting. So, the guy tells Belle that Seer is on one side of the garden. Okay. He goes to the side of the garden and Seer's there waiting for him, whatever. And Belle passes her a piece of the hair piece that they have bought in the previous episode. All of a sudden, before Seer can try to kiss Belle on the lips, saying, I still want you, still want you, that same guy from the Fear Familia, I don't remember his name, I know he's a magician and he talks funny, I apologize about that, attacks Belle and Seer, claiming that Seer is doing too much and is overstepping her boundaries in front of Freya. We don't know what that means yet. So Belle and the magician are starting to fight. The girls from the bar, Mama, I forgot her name, so Mama's bar or whatever, is there, including Ryu. So Ryu is seeing what's going on, that, Belle and Seer are getting attacked. They fight the Freya Familia and, their other henchmen. They get fucking smoked. Cool.
Oh wow.
We get a big twist that Anya, the cat girl that everyone loves and everything, has a brother inside the Freya Familia. And I guess she's not part of the family anymore because she's, with the bar people. But we see now that the big cat wolf guy, who's gray, whatever, he's family with Anya. We see now Belle and Seer in an abandoned warehouse, and she tries once more to try to kiss him, but Belle is hurting her, stopping her from the kiss. And we see him grabbing her hands, and behind her hands is a big sharp knife. Gasp. Twist. That's not Seer at all. And how do we know that's not Seer? Belle previously had given her a hairpiece to put on her hair. That was his piece. She already had her own. So if that was Seer, he would have told her when they met up that she already had her piece. But because that's not Seer, she couldn't have known that. So now we find out that this person is none other than Horn, Freyr's secretary that we're aware of at that point in time. So she's hurt that he realized that it's not Seer and lets him go, whatever. So she tells him where Seer is, and he runs off. The Freya Familia comes in and asks why Horn is doing this. And she pretty much explains that he had a chance to kill Belle and messed up, and she wanted to do it again, but Freya wouldn't let her because she doesn't want Freya falling in love with Belle because she thinks that Freya is too good for Belle. So now,
okay.
So now it gets better. We now go to the next scene. It's getting to the credits rolling down and everything. We see Seer waiting, sitting down on the side. Cool. It's starting to rain. The music's picking up. Seer is very, upset but kind of happy that Belle's there. And she explains everything that she is in love with Belle. She wants only to be with Belle, and she doesn't want him being with anybody else. And that she didn't have the chance now, she might lose him to another girl. So that's why she's asking for like the fourth, fifth time to go out with him. And Belle inside is hurt because he doesn't want to hurt any girl. No guy, it's a relatable scene that nobody wants to, turn down a girl when they're confessing to them. But
Damn.
when
I wish
you
I was
don't
him.
when you don't have feelings for that person, you have to do what you have to do. And he even said it best in the in the show. It tears me apart to tell her this, but I don't have a choice. To where he says, "No, I'm sorry," and walks away. So it's raining. It looks like she's crying, whatever. We see Otto, the big right hand man of Freyr, coming up from the side.
So right here's the clip I saw online that girl became the illusion of Freya.
No. So this is where I'm gonna break the immersion. Biggest plot twist. I'm gonna explain it real quick because I know I'm wasting time on it. But she tells Seer at that point in time tells Otto to start preparing to capture Belle, and he asks if he's sure. So we start seeing Seer transform now from Seer to Freya. All this time that we have assumed that Seer was wrong. She is actually Freya. She has been using this image as Seer since season 1. So every time you've seen Seer working at the bar, chilling, whatever, she has actually been Freya in disguise because she doesn't want the responsibilities of being the goddess in a sense. And more than anything, she wants to find love in the most natural way and not using her powers as a goddess. Hence why she fell for Belle the moment, she laid eyes upon him and everything. Now, that asks a lot of questions about the whole episode. Like, when I first saw it, I was so confused. I was like, wait, is Seer a part of Freya? Is it two different entities? And what you need to do is go back to the episode, take a step back, and which I didn't explain, which I will now. There was a flashback of Horn when she was a baby, a kid, excuse me, and she saw Freya, and she fell in love with her beauty, and she asked her if she could be her, a part of her at least. So they made a deal where if Freya gives Horn a part of her name, a part of her entity, then Horn can act like Freya whenever she wants. Meaning, Horn can look like Freya, the actual goddess, whenever she wants to, and in exchange, Freya, the goddess, can look like Horn, a little girl growing up to the same way she looks like whenever she wants. They could switch each other's psyche, their appearance. So if Freya doesn't want to be a goddess for a little bit, she can choose to look like Horn, aka Seer. If Horn wants to act like Freya for a little bit, she can, look the appearance whenever they want to. Now, of course, it's a little complicated because with the gods and goddesses, they all know who everyone is. They have that, god power to know, okay, you're human, you're a demi-human, you're a god. So they have to do this transformation, this switch in ways where nobody else can know. And that's why from season 1 and onwards, they've been very sneaky about the way they've been portraying themselves to other people. And that's why even in the first episode of season 5, Hestesia said to everybody, I have never met Seer up until you guys are telling me this now. So for 5 seasons, Hestesia has never met Seer before. So it was a little strange remembering that up until this point in the anime that, oh yeah, how has Hestesia, a goddess, not have met Seer? She's a very well-known character. She makes Belle's lunches, they always talk, she's always flirting with him. So it's very odd that she picked up that. And it's also weird too that Hestesia, when she saw Horn dressed as Seer walking towards the warehouse, that she asked Hermes, the god himself too, I don't sense anything from her. What the fuck is she? Another clue to kind of like put two together that there's something going on with that Freya familia. So, in short, Freya has been Seer all along, and Horn sometimes dresses as Freya, under her command to do certain things, to look certain ways to disillusion everyone and make everyone seem as if it's her, but it's actually not her. So I've been betrayed. This big beauty all this time, a very good iconic character that we all know and love, is not who we think she is. And now it looks like she's about to exact her plan to try to steal Belle away from everyone, but who knows how. The fact that Freya revealed her true colors to everyone actually explained to all of us what she has done throughout the whole show to make us realize how much she works behind the shadows to make things the way that she wants it to get what she wants is baffling to me, to say the least. And I say that as an understatement. Just because of this episode alone, I now have to kind of go back and really like analyze every scene that she has with Belle and everything she has done previously, to where I'm thinking, is that really Freya when she was there? Or is that Horn dressed as her? It's really making you think now, like, where has she really been all this time? And now what is she really planning to do with Belle? I think Danmachi, just this episode specifically, just went more harder. Because with the romance aspect, I was a simp for the big romance aspect. I loved it. She's trying to kiss Belle, the whole, hotel scene, Ryu going crazy, her mind going, did they sleep together? Are they not virgins anymore? Did I fuck up? What's wrong? And now, because of that too, now that we know that Seer doesn't exist, Ryu now has a chance with Belle. We got the main eye, the lineup. We also have Ryu, the side piece. So we got a good harem going of girls who do want Belle.
I can't add too much stuff. I see the hypeness for Danmachi, the popularity of why it's so high in a ranking and what the story could be for Danmachi. So it makes sense of how you explain it in the spoilery way. I was trying to vaguely hear, but also not spoil myself too much, since I'm on season 2 or season 3, I believe. Is it your top one out of your whole list, right? Since it is your episode of the week, is it because it's what shocked you in the story, or just overall everything that just combined is your episode of the week and your number one in the ranking?
I would say, I will admit, I was torn between, if I were to, my top 5 for this week myself personally, between Dan Da Dan and Danmachi, for the sake of argument, in the sense that for the last, because this anime came out in 2014, Danmachi.
Wow, damn.
For the last 9 years,
so long. Wow.
I said the same thing too. To know that you have an idea of what you think is going to go down, and it's completely not what you expected at all. Like this show, when I first started watching it, I thought it was going to be a joke. And the first season is, a borderline okay. You got a point A to point B. And like I was telling you, Vash, not too long ago about this anime, it's not until you get into season 3 where the plot actually gets very interesting. It goes in a whole different direction that you never expected. So, for me, for anyone who has not watched the anime at all, who has maybe considered watching a good fantasy anime with a very good plot, with some ecchi scenes, but also decent fights, I would recommend something like this. And that's why I would say, to answer your question, I think Danmachi would be the number 1 placing for my week, for week 4, this week alone. And past that with Dan Da Dan, which had a great fight sequence, which we'll speak on, of course. I think personally, I think Danmachi gets it for me the top 1. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, that's a good choice. Danmachi being your episode of the week is a great choice for anybody. Spoiler talk. Welcome back for the Danmachi is over for his episode of the week. My episode of the week, I would not go too spoilery, so don't worry about that aspect, because my episode of the week for me is episode 4 of I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, titled The Villainess and the Flower Field. If you hit hard with emotional beats and the character development, for anybody that hasn't watched this, the My Life is a Villainess and I Go Down in History. Where is this? It is the tags that it has is a female protagonist, is a Josie, a Sekai, magic, swordplay, and has a bit of rom-com and plus politics in the aspect. So just for you to be aware in case you want to go watch or read it. It is airing for this fall season, and by episode 4, I really enjoy the aspect of it, because the story beats of a character that has played the game of what this world is inspired by, and she's choosing to go, instead of the hero, she prefers the villain route, because she doesn't want to be a goody two-shoe. But her character, she wants to be the villainess, the person that is righteous in her mind, even though her actions are good. But in her mind, it's just being very blunt, very aggressive, and you being like Bond from the 7 Deadly Sins, that you take it what you want and you become who you want. So that's her character. That's her, in her eyes, it seems villainous, but it's villainous in our world because of what we see people as being rude or like, hey, damn, you seem like a bad guy with your attitude. But with her character, even the kingdom asked for opinion in politics about his own kingdom to an 11-year-old child. So I'm like, what kind of king would be asking an 11-year-old about politics? No kid will actually understand the psychosis and understanding of the physiology of what politics could be in the kingdom. But she answers very bluntly about the social class and everything. So that's one thing that I love. And this was the past 3 episodes. For episode 4 is her understanding that any human, no matter magic or no magic, has its limit. No matter that if you could practice at a young age and you get good sword play or good magic skills at a young age, and a regular person could master like level 80 at age 25 is average, but you master it at level 13. Whereas like, okay, but you have your limits to bring somebody back to life or know what your limit is. And I really love that aspect because it shows the character their human side, knowing that they're not all OP like we always speak in any type of shonen anime or any type of anime in general of overpowered character. That's amazing and to see guys storylines, but sometimes it gets reused too inconsistent or sometimes too OP where like, where's the plot going? How much type of OP or ominous power of villain are we gonna have? But for a character, I really love the aspect. And when it comes to politics, where you can understand it, where it doesn't get too politics into our real world, but it comes to the kingdom, it comes how to handle it. And even any type of basic person that don't know about politics or plantation or knows about how to grow an economy, or they did good in the high school economic class, for them to understand the basics aspect in anime. And I really find that fascinating for somebody that likes these type of conversation and how it gets handled well from an MC character when they get put into a different world and they try to handle it in their own perspective or their own understanding, even though they're play the game aspect but never went to the behind the scenes aspect. So I really enjoy that.
I do want to say, I don't know personally because I have not watched the anime myself. Do you know what to expect for the next episode? I know some episodes give out the glow like previews and stuff like that. Do you have an idea what's
I
to
skip
come?
them. I skip them all the time. I'm a person who doesn't give a fuck the next episode. I haven't read the manga. Even for Danmachi, where that is an anime for chat, we are gonna actually go to spoiler talks in that conversation, so stay tuned for that. But when it comes to animes that I watch and don't read the manga, I don't like to see the preview. Stay tuned for the preview episode. I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fucking preview. I'm already watching it. I'm not. I have patience. To me, my saying is patience is to virtue. I am watching anime. I have a backlog of summer season, spring season, fall season, 2020 season, 2019 episodes. So I'm like, I don't have the time to check for preview, be anticipated like, damn, I need the next episode. Where's the next preview? I got time. Next episode, okay, next Thursday. I'll come back, see you next Thursday at 10 a.m. I'm good then. I'll see you then. I'm okay. Like, do I go on any list on my phone, be like, has the next episode appeared? No, I gotta wait one more day. 12 hours. Okay, it's out. Boom, watch it. Do I do that? Yes. But I don't need to wait for the preview because I want to be shocked. Like, am I too late a couple times and the preview pops up? But it's so fast that I don't really could analyze it. I can't really analyze it to be like, what's next? I am curious when these type of storylines of the character played the game, but then while they're playing the game or playing their life of said character, it changes. Because they always be saying like, oh, it just didn't happen in the game. We're having a different story. Like, no shit, my dude. You literally are changing the events. You're changing the character you played. You're adding your personality and trait to the character you played. That character don't exist no more. You are fused with the character. People think you're a different person. No shit. The story's changing. Because right now, the prince is supposed to fall in love with the hero. But right now, the prince fell in love with the villainess, with our MC character. So that already changed, but she's so oblivious that she hasn't noticed that.
Damn. A lot of changes of events, and the MC don't know. That's wild.
It happens all the time in this type of rom-com story of a girl that gets that gets a seat guy, and then girl wants to
Yeah.
become a different character instead of the hero. She changes up, but then the hero protagonist that falls in love with the character don't fall in love with the character no more, but falls in love with the other character now because you change it. So I'm like, no shit, it happens. So I love it. It's good drama for me. It's enjoyable, and it's something that I don't have the time to listen to 20 minutes of a CW type of acting. Anybody that knows that reference, good for you. You watch a lot of CW drama over the years where instead of watching 40 minutes of the same drama, we could have watched 20 minutes of it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm watching 20 minutes of good drama and it's anime, and that's actually relatable. Where in the CW, you watch the same drama in the Flash episode, but then it happens again 10 minutes later. I mean, 10 episodes later for another 40 minutes. I'm like, bitch, why? But that's not the show itself. That's the network problem. So that's shade to anybody that watch any type of network TV. Anime is better in that aspect. Enjoy. That's any rant or shade. You take that as you will, or you drink it as you will.
No, I liked your take on it. Me personally, I have seen some shows like that, Seventh Time Loop. There's another one, I forgot the name of it. I saw it, I think maybe 2-3 seasons ago. It's generic, but I'm gonna keep an eye out on it. Like I said, Hotter Flop is coming out next week, and if I hear more things about it in the future, I'll give it a watch.
Right before we jump into our 424 anime ranking, I'd rather save Danadan as our last final conversation, since that's going to actually take a good 10 minutes or so conversation. And since the other stuff that we've been watching is going to be quick, one-on-one, non-spoiler from ourselves. You already spoke about your how to flop or shows that you might pick within next week until our next recording, any shows that you might pick up. Well, do you want to bring them up again? Because I'm going to mention mine real quick of what I'll be picking up by this recording being released until next episode recording being released. I'm gonna be picking up 365 days to the wedding. I'm gonna see the first 2 episodes, see how that is. I'm gonna check out also tying the knot with an Anamagani sister, Yakuza fiance, Rays of Wanting Gali, and You Are My Servant. Those are the 4 I'm gonna be checking out within the next week. I'm gonna check out a couple more.
I hate you so much because that's the exact same list I have that I might potentially watch.
Oh, you serious? The same exact 4
list. That's crazy. That's the exact same list I have. I'm waiting to see next week if it got any better, any worse. Yeah, it's the exact same list I have. I swear to God.
Oh well, damn. So Hot on Flop is gonna see, because I haven't watched one anime. Is because the healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. Not saying that I drop it yet, but I wanted to build up 2 more episodes so I could decide if I should continue off that. Because as much as I do enjoy my Seekers and everything, I don't want to continue watching my generic on a weekly. I'd rather watch those in a binge. Like, that one of those type of animes are more enjoyable binge, since it's, very generic, very Seekai, very paint by the number. So I'd rather watch that one by, like, if it's very generic, I'd rather watch it by the time it's week 11 than binge watch episodes 4 through 4 through 11 or 4 through 10, and then I could watch episode 12, then knock that down. Because it's like, hey, you're generic, but I don't mind watching rom-coms, and these are more adult kind, because I like to watch my adult rom-coms, because hey, as much as I don't mind watching kids high school type of rom-coms, I'm an adult now. I need to watch my adult life comparison of college life, or our MC going to work and have a 9 to 5 job, and then coming home and then having some type of random daily life anime show that we're watching. So that's something I would like to see more of, and we're kind of getting that. So I am really curious to see how that continues to go.
I mean, well, to binge off what you said, binge, and then to go to the other 4 things. So, as an adult, I want more adult romance animes. Not to say that there isn't. There's more, high school, teen romance, which I'm totally fine with. I don't have a problem with it because majority of the time they always put it to the limit of age, and again, that's fine with me. No biggie, whatever. But I don't remember the name, and I hope you can help me remember the name of it. But the anime really quick is boy and girl are going out. Girl has a girl best friend. They go to high school, whatever. The love interest had a car accident and is in a coma for a couple of years. So the boyfriend is devastated, her best friend's devastated, whatever. Life goes on. The boy and girl actually, the best friend, excuse me, have like a little intimate moment, and then they actually start going out. A couple years later, the main love interest wakes up from the coma, but she still thinks she is a teen from when she was still in high school. She has, I believe, long term uh, 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 problem with memory, whatever. Long term memory, yeah, long term memory something.
Uh,
So she thinks she's still going out with
Amnesia.
the yeah. It's not amnesia because like she does remember everything from before, and she has nothing happens until up until this point because she's been in a coma.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
So not amnesia, but something like that. Okay.
yeah. So she's still thinking that she's going out with her boyfriend, the MC.
Oh, man, that's
But lo and
tough.
behold, he's an adult now. Her best friend's an adult, and they're together, like they're sleeping together, like he's clapping cheeks. They got their own
I
apartment. This man
haven't
got
heard of
money.
I haven't heard of this anime. It doesn't ring a bell, but like one that I can't wait to see animated or if it gets done because the manga, I think they're in college and I think the manga's done. It's Kaguya-sama Love is War. I think the manga had them in college. I'm not sure if the manga's done, but I know the last arc was them going to college and they had a sleeping moment as well. But I'm not sure if the anime is ever gonna get to that because I don't know what the fuck is their fear of anime, telling college stories. Like one of them was very good is a science teacher one. That one was a good adult story. So like that one was very fun.
I know which anime you're talking about with that one. I personally thought the Love is War anime, the scene that you're talking about where they're sleeping, I misunderstood the manga because I did not read the manga. I only watched straight the anime, which I do recommend people to read the manga for it because it is really good.
Yes.
Um, it I thought that scene was the last scene of the manga itself. I didn't know there was more chapters after the fact, and
Yes.
I believe I'm wrong. I think there might be a spin-off for the manga itself with other small stories. I don't know. I had to do a little more research on that, but the movie had come out for Love is War after season 3. Oh, sorry, after season 3. And I thought that that movie was going to show that scene. So I'm thinking going into the movie, it's going to be hot, it's going to be spicy. I'm not going to tell anybody anything. I'm just going to let everybody watch it out. And I had seen the movie with you, Vash, I'm not mistaken, with some
Yes, we
other
did.
friends. And it was not it was funny. It was hilarious. I had given the movie a good 9 out of 10, but it didn't have the scene and it threw me off so hard because I'm thinking, okay, where the fuck do they go from there? They're gonna go to college now. And I guess that's where we're at now with the manga with whenever they're gonna announce a season
Which I
4
hope you
maybe.
do, because the anime I was talking about of the science teacher is the full title for anybody that wants to go watch it is Science Fell in Love. So I try to prove it. If you like your adult story and two characters that fall in love organically and everything, highly recommend it. There's only 2 seasons, so please go check that out. It's really enjoyable, good comedy, good anime, good animation. I believe this was animated by the same people that did Dana as well. No, it wasn't. Sorry. Zero G, or was it the original series?
The show itself I have watched. I do also recommend it as well too. I gave it 8 out of 10 for both seasons. Maybe even a 7 for the second season. It was a little slower, but the main focus of the question for those of you who may not know is pretty much two people trying to ask the real question: how does one fall in love with each other? And that's the main thing that you go into the show, and you realize that it's not a question that can be answered. Love is expressed in many different ways, and you'll see how they learn that the hard way as you watch the episodes. And there are also some side characters that do have their also
Their story, like their
love
own
problems.
storylines.
Yeah, so it's not just the MC and the love interest. You also have other side stories too with it. So it's not just boring. It is very comedical, as Vash said. A lot of romance aspects too. So I do give it a look. If you're looking for some good romance to watch for the season, and to piggyback before what we're saying for the four shows that we want to keep an eye out for harder flop. So the main reason why I haven't started watching these yet is because I've heard either not too much or too little of it. So tying the knot with Anamagi sister, I've seen a lot of advertisements, a lot of memes on it. So I do know it's popular in an aspect. 47,000, almost 50K people are watching the anime, but it's rated at a 7 out of 10. And as we all know, I have a very strict take when it comes to my, grading. So 7 out of 10 is mid for me. That's
It's
scary to
not
me.
Chad. It's 7 out of 10. It's above an average. Average is 5 to 6, because out of 10, 5 is in the middle. for anybody that needs to go back to school in math. And then 7 is above average. But hey, I guess in current timeline, in current 2024, mid is 7, because that's how it's been for the past 4 or 5 years since after the pandemic. But hey, our Hispanic Assassin, we are using a little comparison, comparing to our list to a top 10 anime of the week. On week 4, they have number 5 as ties the knot with a Amagi sister. So that's number 5 out of everything that's come out in the anime fall season. That's number 5, which is kind of high. So I'm very shocked about that. I will never be watching Blue Lock. That I feel like that's a disgrace to me as a soccer fan. I will never be watching Blue Lock. My apologies for anybody that do. I'd rather you watch a better one called Ayaoshi. That one's a lot 10 times better. So go watch that. And also the animations is horrible for Blue Lock. So I feel bad for the fans. Not really bad. Also, I feel bad for the animators too, because probably things happen behind the scenes and they couldn't work on it. But that's just an extremely downgrade.
100%. I'm not watching Blue Lock either. I'm probably gonna skip it. I mind you, I do personally IRL play soccer. Not recently, but I had played soccer a while, even borderline professionally with some close classmates and friends. So it is very odd for me personally to say, yeah, as a soccer fan, I'm not watching this anime because again, as most people, as Vash knows, I'm not a big sports fan at all. I really do not care or like it, whatever. There are certain exceptions to it that I have watched in the past. I can't name one on top of my head, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm pretty sure there are one or two out there that you know what? Oh, they're good. I'll give it a shot, whatever. But the same. I'm skipping Blue Lock. But the other three, right? The 365 Days to the Wedding. A good 60,000 people are watching that. It is a little bit more better. 7.13 out of 10 right now on my anime list. Again, I haven't heard a lot about it, and I'm pretty sure on the list itself, if I'm not mistaken, it's not that high up right now. Let me see on the 10. It is not even on the 20th list. It is not even on the 30th list. It is all the way down. If I'm not mistaken, this is like bottom of the 50. Yeah, it's not even on the list here for the week 4. So to see that it's not even on the top 50, I might be wrong. I was going through fast, but to see that it's not even on like the top 50 is not good. Which is why, like I said, I'm going to give it another week, see if it gets any better. Now, Your Miss Servant is a little personally more closer to me because, again, the Hispanic Assassin, she is an actual assassin. So, of course, we have to, give praise to, our sister, in the Brotherhood, just not from, the States, from Japan. Like I said last episode, the animation is very unique. It's not something you personally see in most animes. It has 68,000, borderline 70K people watching this, with 7.31 on my anime list. And if I'm not mistaken, this was also on the top 20. Let me just go back and double check for you guys.
I'll tell you right now, top 20 was...
18th place.
Yeah,
so top 20.
7.
Yeah, so that's not a bad ranking. That honestly shows me that it might be something to pick up.
I'll Become a Villainess is number 19 for this list. Not bad. I'll put it as top 10 instead, but not bad for this list.
I mean, top 20 is still good. Like anything under 20, even that is a little like, but even top 20 to me is still fine.
Yeah, for anybody that might ask in the chat, myself and Crash is now watching Bleach. So we will not be giving too much thoughts on that. ReZero as well. So we will not be having too much thoughts. I'm watching season 1 of ReZero right now. The first video that will be posted for season 1 will be posted this coming Wednesday. So we'll definitely stay tuned for the channel of my reaction for episodes 1, 2, and 3 from Director's Cut. But for Bleach, we haven't had the time to watch it. Blue Box, I'm behind 2-3 episodes. So by next episode 2 recording, I will have my thoughts for Blue Box and also Tower of God. So I am very hyped to see where Tower of God and Blue Box is. I'm trying to convince Crash to watch Blue Box and hear his thoughts and have that as a review portion as well. When we talk about Danmachi, we're going to have Blue Box as a review portion. I hope I could get him to watch it.
I'll speak more on that. I'm not gonna get to it. I'd rather save that for last. And I definitely got you with that. Finally, just on that last list, so we can move on to the list. Yakuza Fiance is the final thing we were considering to watch. 60,000 people watch it currently, with 7.21 on my anime list. And I have seen a lot of memes, a lot of clips on the internet, so I do know it is getting traction. is the plot developing to where a lot more people are talking about it is what I personally am watching out for as a veteran viewer, which is also why I recommend to a lot of people. If you hear about a show and then it just stops after the first episode, it got boring. But if you see more memes, you see more clips, or just like a post about a specific scene and a lot of people are commenting on it, then you know it's getting a lot more people investing and talking about it, which is very good, which means more people watch it, which means I give it more of a better shot to watch going down the road. But that's the four animes that we're potentially keeping an eye on to watch for for week 5, excuse me. Definitely stay tuned for episode 2 to find out if we do watch it or not, or we do drop it on our hot or flop list. I'll give it to you, Vash, for the top 10 anime of the week.
So for our top 10 anime of the week, I would say this. For anybody, we're not gonna give our top 10, like where's number 5, number 10. We're right now starting our show, so things will be changing throughout the week. We're trying to find our rhythm, trying to find our beat, what is our structure. But we'll be talking about like what is our top, like what are we watching out of our list and what do we recommend. So this would be a non-spoiler segment of our fall 2024 anime ranking. So this would be non-spoiler. The last 10-20 minutes of our show, which would be our done coverage of review portion and then our outro. So definitely stay tuned for that. Check the time codes down below. But here is my other series I'm watching. For example, from the top 10, from what is in the ranking. Number 1, we are both watching Down, so we don't give too many thoughts about that until later. Bleach, we're not watching that. Blue Box, I've only seen episode 1. So episode 1, I will say this: beautiful animation, 2 characters that have seen each other in high school, have known about each other, but have never interacted too much. One day they actually did, and then they are connected through their parents, and then that's how they got interact more. And then by the end of the episode 1, they find out that they will be seeing each other a lot more on a daily aspect. So it's very curious to see where that leads up to for episode 2 and 3 and 4 when I catch up. But that's all I could say in a non-spoiler way. You haven't seen Blue Box, right?
I have seen clips. I have seen some scenes here and there. I don't want to say it's a spoiler, but I had seen a photo which explained, I guess, the scene of the last episode. And all I will say is that something happens with us, like, I guess her cell phone. I guess like the point of the episode had to do with like a profile picture or something like that. And she was very happy that she got the profile picture. That's the gist I got from that specifically. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen in episode 4, maybe getting contact information or something like that. But past that, I haven't heard nothing much besides it. Besides it being, very good and definitely a shot to watch.
Awesome. Want to say anything about ReZero season 3?
Yes, I have a lot to say about that.
Give your thoughts about ReZero season 3, non-spoilery, of course.
So, well, I'm gonna do my very best. I have personally not watched the show. Even though I have not watched the show yet, I have been spoiled heavily on a lot of things on the first, second, and third season, more or less. Social media really gets you messed up when you look at the wrong places at the wrong times. So it is a show I plan to watch in the future, but I'm not oblivious to know what's going on, more or less, currently with it. And what I had told, the members of Anime Binge Studios is a photo that came up from the last episode, and that photo was asking Amelia if she is.
I'm about to say me. I haven't seen it, and I don't want to be a spoiler either. So I say vaguely, like non-spoiler. Just say you've seen a photo. Who it is, you can tell the viewers to look through or have seen. But me, no.
They ask a very serious question, and that threw me off because I didn't expect that question to be asked. That was the last episode, not for episode for week 4 for week 3. I have not heard anything since then. So surprisingly, I have not been spoiled for episode 4 at all. But that was why ReZero is top 5 right now. Even this, I think it's still number 4 right now. So ReZero was actually doing really good. It started off very strong. Everyone's happy to see, everyone back. Amelia. We're waiting for Rem to come back out of her sleep. Whenever she does, I hope she comes back this season. I highly doubt it, though.
Shh, what? I'm asleep. Rem? What? No sleep. I don't know.
Oh. Oh my God! It went 3 episodes, 3 seasons in. But yeah, I'm sorry. Waiting for a lot of things to happen, and yeah.
Awesome. And then we have number 5, like we mentioned, Time to Not with Anime Sister. We haven't seen it, but probably by next week we have some thoughts for it. Danmachi, Blue Lock, we're not watching it. That's trash.
Okay.
Sorry for the animation. My apologies for the fans. Danmachi, he already gave a spoiler talk conversation for that, so go check that on the time code. Ranma,
Watch it.
Ranma have not seen it, but you had some thoughts for it. This is your time and your floor. Go for it.
So again, not an anime I have seen, not even had heard about prior to it releasing again. This is a remake of the original that came out a long time ago. Now, I had seen only 2 clips of the actual remake, and if they were both comparisons to both the original and the remakes. Um, from a standpoint of animation alone, not on plot, I had watched a scene unfold where non spoilers, just the guy giving some roses to the girl, and that's it. To me personally, the original and the remake animations look spectacular. Even for its time that it released back in the day, it looks really nice. It is very comedic. I believe it's a rom com, but it's not a bad anime at all. However, due to the fact that I have not even heard about the anime in itself since now, does not inspire me to give it a chance at the moment. I will speak more on that most likely next week when we bring our hotter flop. But if someone were to ask me, hey, I have seen the old original and I want to watch the remake, should I watch it again? For sure. It is literally just the same, or if not better, and they do a better idea of animating it in a better style and in a better way where it's just a little more funnier, a lot more appealing to the eye, which I think a lot of animes that do remakes don't do that nowadays. So I actually do like what they did. The only other anime I know for sure that does do that is Urusei, uh um with the alien girl and Lum, and the guy. That was a good remake personally, but past that, I don't know any other good remakes that came out recently anime wise that look nice. So I give Rama 1.5 a good ranking, a number 8. The fact that it actually is up there right now is a good sign. It means that for the fourth week, the first full month of the fall season, it is going strong. So it is good. It's good and recommended to watch.
For the next one is number 9, Orb on the Movement of the Earth. This one is a Netflix one that has been distributed. I haven't heard of it too much. The only person I know that has been speaking about it is a big shout out to my check waifu waifu. In their most recent episode, they spoke about Orb on the Movement of the Earth. They gave some good words about it, and it's a ranking for number 10. I mean, went up 10 rankings. So that means it was number 19 previous week, but then on this week it went up by 10. So that's pretty good. It means it had a good episode. I will probably check that out on Netflix. Haven't heard too much. I'll probably check it out, see what it is. Just go blind in. So other than that, have any thoughts on that, Crash? Even though you haven't seen it as well.
No, I haven't seen either of them, but I will throw a hot take, and I know we're ready for the fighting. I know the fans have been saying about it. Or on the movies on the Earth, I have not heard about that piece of shit, nor do I want to, and I'm most likely going to skip that. I do not expect much from it. The fact that it came up from 19 of ranking of last week to 9, excuse me, is just saying that the current episode that came out was fire, but that can go down dramatically. So let's see. Maybe it does stay in the ranking. I don't believe so at all. Again, I have never heard of it before either, so I'm not hoping anything for it. And Demon Lord 2099, the trailer I had seen was amazing. The concept is nice, but since then I have not heard anything from it. So I'm taking your word, Vash, that it is good. But the fact that it came from rank 43 of last week, week 3, it was ranked 43 out of 69. To come up to rank 10 just means same thing as the previous anime. Last episode was straight heat. Will it maintain it? Will it maintain its ranking?
Does Demon Lord 29 deserve that ranking number 10? I would say right now, yes. Let's see where it goes, because right now the anime is very generic. Not saying in a bad way, but generic where we're only plotting the seeds of story to be built, and we're in the future. It's a type of the cyberpunk game aspect where everyone has like a little neck piece of just connected to the AI interface aspect. Cool. That's all we have seen so far. And the Demon Lord in episode 2, the way we ended. So I haven't seen episode 3 yet, because episode 2 he ended off that he's about to stream. He's about to become a YouTuber, and because he in this life, the way that in some storytelling with demons and gods, how do they get their powers? By being worshipped, by being a believer. So you know how as a demon or god, the way you have your powers is by you having a religion or people to worship you. So that energy, like the spirit bomb, gives the demon or the god power. But in today's age, how can you get a cult very fast to you? You become a content creator. You build your audience. You build your cult. People worship you once again.
Damn,
So
right
logically, it makes sense. Logically, when the person character thought of this idea, it made sense. But I didn't get to see how he does it. But I actually saw the preview for this one where he just pops up to the camera and says, "Hello, everyone." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I'm curious to see by the time we're done with recording, see how episode 3 goes. I'm very curious. Am I excited for this? Does it deserve it? More for anybody that will have seen me on the show Weaves of the Ring or Anime Podcast, Show Neroni, any of the shows. I'm a very optimistic person. I'm the guy who's always hopeful. So I'm curious to see where the Demon Lord 2099 goes. Because one, you have the year of one of my favorite characters of Spider-Man 2099, his year, his timeline and everything, and you have the Demon Lord aspect. I like this type of anime storyline. So you have a mixed bag. Really curious to see how you go and the character. So I'm hyped, but also skeptical.
I did peep that I peeped the preview on the side. So I see you like watching your favorite animes, and their previews, but any other animes you skip the previews. I see.
Look. I'm not being biased. It's just what happens to be seen. But that is a top 10 ranking for what it is. I want to give a shout out to the shows that I am watching that's not in the top 10 ranking. And then Crash could just give his. And then before we jump to the show, end the show, we give our done review. Blue Box, only seen episode 1. Like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about done. One Piece is on break, but the One Piece fan letter, very shocked that it's not high up there or even was recommended. It's on the list of this website on episode ranking number 32, I believe. So very shocked about 33. 33. Haven't catch Tower Gods in episode 8, but I'm really curious to see where that goes. I did see Afrueta from the Commonplace to World's Strongest season 3. I first saw the 2 episodes. Have you seen the 2 episodes for us to talk about it?
I've only seen the first episode. Okay. I have not watched the second yet.
Let's have a quick discussion. Yeah. Or do you want to save that for the done, so they just go back to back?
We can go to done. Honestly.
Okay. So let's save that to go to done. As a reincarnated as aristocrat, I will use my appraisal skill to raise in the world season 2. I will say for the past 4 episodes has been very good, has been very linear of where the story's going. We have the character becoming to the leader he is. He had his first battle in a war that's going on between, like for example, imagine New York. And then you have Queens, Brooklyn, Buffalo, and all these type of cities actually have like a border, and you gotta travel. So like this is what is going on for this anime, that they're having a battle and they have to take over because to the prince, their father died. So now the 2 princes have to decide who takes in charge. One of them have their own type of following, the other one has their own following. So right now it's a little political type of struggle. So it's very interesting of how a character that came from our world get into this world, and how does he become a leader by having his skill set of seeing people's attributes, their ambitions, their motivation, and how he's a good leader by being a born leader, being natural, and you having high ambitions because a lot of people believe in you and your retainer. So highly recommend, if you like that type of style and series, I recommend to anybody watch it. Dragon Ball Daima, it's Dragon Ball. If you're not watching it, go watch it. And also, if you want to hear my full thoughts of it, go check out the Anime Podcast, because me and the guys give like a 10-20 minute coverage review aspect of the show and how it's doing. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Shinron, because he only gives 3 wishes to the damn fucking plug. He says, "Oh, you ain't the usual guys. Y'all get 1 wish. Alright, I'm outie." For you to say that, it literally one of my favorite lines. I remember it word by word until this day, and it's been 2 weeks. So for you to literally say, yo Shinron, you're gonna literally just tell these new people 1 wish, but they literally watched the B-roll of you giving 3 wishes to other people. Their face was like, "Wait, what?" And he just dipped out like, "I'm outie." It was the most cutest type of way for Shinron to build him as a character, where we know him always as the mighty Shinron that comes here, 3 wishes. He's the plug for our girl Boma and everything. So I love that. Those are the few I want to give a shout out to. Before I continue on with my last two, I want to go back to you, Crash. Can you give a shout out, since you have a short list? Why don't you give your shout out, your quick non-spoiler review of what have you been thinking of your series?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it by the ranking that we've been looking at. This is just currently for week 4, so just keep that in mind. That's subject to change for next week and onwards. Afuera, like we said, is at rank 12, which is good. It's right there to be at top 10 if possible. If it gets better by week 5. Dragon Ball Daima, same thing, is ranked 14, which is still just as good. That could potentially go up real fast, real quick if the next episode or the next couple episodes can get really more better with any action scenes. 15th rank, right under Dragon Ball Daima, is a show that I'm watching for, like I said, from the last season, 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. It's still a good series going onwards, and the fact that it's still on the top 15 is actually saying a lot about the anime. Going down to rank 27 now, Tower of God season 2 part 2. Now, to me, that's not saying a lot of good things. As me and Vash have discussed before, Tower God on the actual webtoons goes so hard, and I recommend everyone that does watch the show to prefer pretty much to read it more than to watch the anime, because the anime after season 2, in my opinion, doesn't do it justice.
I haven't seen too much since episode 6. Good animation. Episode 7A, there's a few Blue Lock, a bit of records, or Ragnar type of animation of slideshow PowerPoint stuff. So I do see the struggle of to see it, and I get it. A big shout out to my assistant Gretman, and a big shout out to my friend Majin, who are big webtoon readers for Tower of God, and they say just read the damn webtoon. It sucks that animation is doing it her justice, and it just sucks because Tower of God season 1 was the best adaptation for webtoons, and to see it fall down like this kind of hurts. It's like, come on. So gotta high school, you got fuck up, but Tower of God, yeah, they're good, but now the animation struggling and the pacing, I can't give too much of what's going on with the second arc, but I will give thoughts next week.
For sure. And me personally, that has read the web series and not the anime, the fact that it's going down and down more and more is really, really sad. I do hope it does get better, like Vash said, but at the moment it's not looking too good for the anime itself. Now down to the list of that, 40th on the list is MF Go season 2. It is a very low-key anime, very underrated, but someone who likes racing, even though I did say I did not like sports, racing anime, based off the initial D, anime with Eurobeat music.
His sports. Interesting.
Definitely one or two, I was saying. Definitely an underrated anime, but it's on the bottom of the list.
I would like to give a big shout out to a sport wrestling anime that I wish that comes back, that we have gotten only like 2 or 3 shows in our lifetime, is Speed Racer. I really want more. It deserves more. It deserves more love. Speed Racer and X Story was amazing. In the cartoon, or I believe the Western animation, was great. Speed Racer back in the 90s and back in the early 2000s, their adaptation was good. Even I don't give a fuck what anybody say about the movie. The movie was phenomenal. Speed Racer, that shit still holds up. I don't give a fuck.
The movie was great. Everyone saying it was trash?
Oh, people say it's trash because the animation, the idea in it, but no, that shit is...
We're talking about the live action movie right now.
Correct, the live action one, yes.
Yeah. Okay, no, because I had, excuse me, my brother had the game, the Speed Racer live action game for the DS a long time ago. But I remember having it, I think, on DVD, and it was a good movie. I liked it. I even liked the whole thing with X and the spoiler.
Bring Speed Racer back. Bring Speed Racer. This is just a clip for bring Speed Racer back. The X, the story, what Crash was alluding to. If you know the story, awesome. If you don't, we don't want to spoil, because that's a big plot hole for the story of Speed Racer. So stay tuned for that, please. Just bring it back one day. It deserves.
I would take a nice brand new remake of Speed Racer over Suicide Squad, Isekai any day, and that's a hot take.
Oh hell yeah, Speed Racer anytime. I will put Speed Racer any day on any animation right now. Like, yes, just it deserves it. Just imagine the animation right now for Speed Racer. Like, just give it a Demon Slayer animation. Imagine the tire shot, just shoot the bro.
will go so hard. And
Mach 6 is my
too?
favorite.
Ah,
Mach 6
Mach
is my
6
favorite
go
design.
hard.
Mach 6, and I think we have seen up to Mach 8 in the designs. I think Mach 6 and Mach 7 is my favorite because the big M he has from Mach 6, it's just my favorite. But yes,
I hope.
I will quick tangent. You see your MF Go season 2, well deserved. As a good sports anime. Your next one was the one that we're gonna review next.
Yes, the final one I was gonna bring up, and it's again a very low key one. A rank 65 on the list out of 69. Tomb Raider, and The Legend of Lara Croft came out for Netflix. Very good anime, despite it being very low on the list, very low key, and that I had heard from my host. It's actually coming out with a season 2.
Yes, it just got greenlit for
potentially.
season 2 a couple of days ago, so it got greenlit. So congrats to them to get that type of greenlit, because that's not always something that happens very consistently for Netflix right now, or for any projects that comes in a one binge patch. I haven't watched it yet. I plan to watch Tomb Raider and Terminator, that came out on Netflix earlier this year in August, during the summer. So I do plan to watch those two. But congrats for Tomb Raider and the production team.
That's it for my list. I'm very very excited to talk about this Done the Done episode.
Right before we jump
just came out.
into Done, I'm gonna just say my last two of the ranking, and that is Goodbye Dragon Life. It's cute as hell. I highly recommend if you like the idea of a god or dragon type character becoming reborn as a human, and understanding the perspective and appreciation of life. Because dragon lives for 1,800 years as usual in storytelling lore, but then for them to continue living in human form and have a different ideology of living, and then we get to side characters and storylines and kingdoms that happen as usual. Go check that out. One that I'm enjoying, that I fuck with a lot. The most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. I want to give that one a quick shout out before we transition to a review, because it's fucking phenomenal. Imagine you are a shit talker. Imagine you are a manipulator. Imagine your skill set being a talker, but you gotta be like a Shikamaru. This character is Shikamaru if he had the balls to not be lazy. That's literally our character that we have. For anybody that understands, episode 4, I'm gonna just say it. Quick spoiler for anybody. Episode 4 of the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. This dude came to a village. This village asks, "Hey, there's about 20 bandits that it needs to be killed or needs to be, taken to the guild. I have about 200 gold, 300 gold. The 300,000 is the gold. I'm gonna give you right now 200, and then the rest when you come back and make sure you're alive and make sure you kill the body and everything." He had a daughter, big fan of him and everything. Cool. Fast forward, he came back. It was not 20 bandits. It was probably 40, for example. And so one thing is the village person lied already. 2, the village person was trying to poison the 2 people that went to kill the bandits. He said, "Yo, I don't want to, pay you guys because I got my own debt. So you guys save me the trouble and let me poison ya." This character, this MC said, "Oh, you think you're gonna fuck with my money?" By episode 1 and 2, he literally turned his 2 ex-clanmates into slaves because they ran off with like a $1 billion, for example, of gold. So he literally got them into slaves. And in this episode, he said, "Oh, people want to continue fucking with me with my money?" He literally came to the village guy like, "Look, you either pay me all your money now, instead of 100 gold, 100k gold, you pay me all your money. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. Now you fuck me over, I'm about to fuck you over. And if you don't do that, I'm gonna murder you, and I don't give a fuck what happens." The daughter now is not a fan of him no more, and literally while the MC and his partner was walking away, the daughter literally said, "I fucking hate you guys. You guys are all trash." She switched a whole 180. But I'm like, yo, why you blaming him? Your father was the one that was trying to kill the dude and try to get out and swindle him. But I get it. It's the perspective of what the daughter as a child is not understanding what's going on with the Dell and the guy that got hired. But then the guy that right now, just 12 hours ago, got told, "Man, I miss you. Thank you for coming back. Hey, can I join your clan in the future as I get older?" Yeah, no worries. If you still appreciate me as a person, yes, you can. 12 hours later, "Nah, fucking hate you. Hope you die. Yo, fucking sucks." I'm like, God damn. Cool, understood. But it backfired, and it's understandable because if I was in his shoes, I get it. Because it's like you either have this girl appreciate you as a person, but don't go back against your morals. And your moral is that this guy, this village dude, this head person just try to fuck you over, try to swindle you, and try to poison you, and pop and lie, say, yo, I got this 100K wine bottle for you. I open it on a special occasion. But then it smells bad and it looks bad, and also he could tell, and he literally told him on his head, speak the truth, and he spoke the truth. Say, yeah, I tried to poison you, nerd. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I love this anime. I love when MC characters are brutal because life is making them brutal, and they could be brutal back. Like, word, you want to play with me? Word, I'm gonna play with you back. Slap back.
I will say you threw me off. I was about to say when you said that point where the daughter was running back towards him to scream. I swear I thought you were gonna tell me that like she was gonna do that, and then he was gonna like do some like something dirty, and I was like, oh, so he took the gold and he did something with the daughter. Oh my god, I need to watch this right now because.
Oh nah, he didn't do that. He just, he had to walk away and do his own thing. Like, alright, cool, you're gonna betray me, do this, I'm gonna continue to do it. Girl was screaming like, I hate you talkers. You guys are oh shit, I hope y'all die. And I'm like, yo, why you hating him? Your father's doing that fuck up. But hey, quick spoiler on that for anybody. But if you're not watching it, I recommend it. Hopefully, I got you. Maybe Crash for anybody to get intrigued into the show. Please go check it out because I highly recommend it. It's fun. It's a good aspect of the show, and it's entertaining as hell.
No, 100%. I have known about the anime beforehand. There are clips and memes about it actually online on the internet. It is an underrated anime. It is not an anime I do see myself watching. However, I will admit the plot is very interesting. It's something I will talk about in my hotter flap, but 100%. I do recommend it to anyone. It is an isekai or is it a fantasy?
Fantasy.
So yeah, anybody interested in fantasy animes, looking for a very, very good plot. Even I wouldn't say psychological, but it makes you think because the MCU courses I think ahead. If you like stuff like that, definitely recommend watching that anime this season.
I agree, but if you want to watch what we're watching and talking about it, appreciate for checking everyone in the description below for all the time codes because we're here about to jump into our last topic of the show, and it's Dan spoiler for episode 4 that just dropped. Because the reason is that myself and Crash, we saw Dan episode 1, 2, and 3 last month already in advance, so we were just waiting for episode 4 to drop and see the continuation of said characters of where do they lead up to, and we got it. We finally see the fight, the finish of Turbo Granny. So full spoiler talk for the next couple minutes until we end the show, so definitely stay tuned if you're here for it. If not, we appreciate you for checking out the rest of the show. But Turbo Granny got her nipple bit because he said, if I can't do anything, I'm gonna bite these, and that's what he did.
She got her teeth sucked so hard, and even like after that she was like, it's so sore. Why does it feel like that? Granny had not gotten no type of schlong in like years, and I'm talking years, and she's never felt anything like that before. But even before that, let's go rewind back a little bit to right before that scene where she says, I returned the weenie back to him, and I was like, let's go, he got it back.
Like, hey, it's a fair deal, but we don't know what happens next because we by the end of the episode, we don't know where's Granny, because we know that by the story he needs to continue with his powers. So how do we get there? So I'm really curious to see. One thing to jump to the last scene of the episode, it really made me impactful by once they said bye to each other, they was asking themselves, is this goodbye or is this goodbye for tomorrow? Like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. I love how they was both asking in their own perspective, walking away, of how they view their own goodbye. And I thought that because as friends or any friends that you have, that you've lost connection with, you don't know when is your last bye because things just happen randomly. You lost connection with your brother, your sister, your friends, your family, your abuela, whoever who knows. And it just hurts to know, like, damn, the last goodbye or the last hi that I could have said to them, and I don't know. So just hearing that, I relate. And I love how the girl is the one that literally probably like, hey, Otokun, goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow. And I love that, like, oh, she actually, turned faster than him, because most likely he would have turned too, but she beat him to it, and it made him smile. It made him feel like, oh, I still have a friend after all this craziness. So I really love that, just to know that she had the balls to actually say it first. So I really love that and appreciate that. Like, did you feel anything of emotion towards that interaction of them?
I was really hoping, he would have said something instead of her. I mean, I expected it from her anyways, because she is the assertive type.
Exactly. Like, he's still trying to break his barriers. He has hurt because he has no friends, so he never was the open one. So he was asking life. He's like, do I do it? And, like, he was questioning. So I love how she did it, because she seemed like he's just in their relationship, because we know they're gonna end up together by the end of the series, most likely, of how they.
Hey, spoilers! I don't know. Maybe they know something happens. We don't.
That's my guess. That is my guess. Like, spoilers wise aspect, like they should. By the way, they're telling their love story in a way. So it's like, okay, maybe, most likely, who knows? So the way their relationship is going, she's the assertive one, and he's the one that goes along with her craziness, and it works. Like, for their dynamic, it works, and I like it.
I mean, to piggyback on that, the way they were in sync, the way they were communicating, the way they were acting during that whole fight sequence with the crab.
Great animation, by the way.
Yeah, that hands down, let's just address the elephant in the room. That whole fight sequence was straight heat. I was at the edge of my seat the whole time. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Even when things looked bleak and the Turbo Granny looked like they were about to eat, she was about to eat them. No, she was like, nah, you thought I got you. I trapped you. Got on the train, start flying away. Bam. Then we go into another sequence.
Great plan on the red animation to show that they're in their type of domain was really beautiful. To take off the red when they thought they got away from it. Really great really great detail. The crab to actually get eaten from them, like, fucking the next day, like the whole meme at the end of the episode where she was like, me, and where they were running behind each other. And it's cute because the granny was trying to get him to be happy, because her reasoning is because girl thought he was depressed. They went through a life-changing event, so anybody could be like, yo, I just lost my appetite, I'm not depressed, we went through fighting a crab. Y'all want to eat a crab that we just had monsters or demons or ghosts inside this crab? Y'all about to eat it? I'm sorry, I can't eat that. Even myself, who loves to eat, I'm like, can I just eat a regular toast with bread or some coffee, being that Colombian? I'm like, this crab eating, that's a no to me. Like, it just got cooked in a hot spring by hot water. And you're telling me that we're just gonna eat it raw like that? Nah, my G, no.
I would try the crab just for the one time.
You would eat that crab that got made by ghosts and demons and girls that just got abused in a ton, and you're gonna eat this monster crab?
Look, if I was in the same position and my situation was like, I'm a minority who is very poor and has no food, of course I'm gonna eat the crab. I'm not letting no food go to waste.
Understandable. In that scenario, yeah. But I will question life. I was like, damn, is it worth it? Is it like it looked juicy? Girl was just nimming like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if anything, give me a little bit of butter, give me a little bit of salt. We're fine. That's it. That's all I ask. Even make the butter a little, hot. We're fine.
True. I would say the Turbo Granny animation was great, but I really love the fusion of Okoro-kun and the Granny powers, where he was running, and the mask reminded me of a fusion of a hollow mask of Bleach, like the hollow mask that he has, but the bottom, it reminded me of the design of My Hero Academia of a Deku mask. Yeah. So it reminded me a lot of that, but much better, sleek, and actually fucking used. Not just for fucking art and cosplay, it's literally actually used. So just to see the design there, and I love how calm and composed he speaks. Like, hey, yo, babe. Like, so I'm watching the dub just because I'm curious. So the dub for episode 4, where he was running, he like, hey, yo, babe, we got a problem. I can't go left because you're too heavy. So we're gonna jump off this cliff. And she's like, wait, what? And they're just both jumping off the cliff. And I'm like, he's just so nonchalant, and like the character when he turns to them reminds me of another reference to our boy Shikamaru, in 2 episodes. This reminds me of Shikamaru, like his nonchalant character of being lazy, but it's not lazy, it's more nonchalant, like the vibe. that is technically Shikamaru as an adult. He's not lazy. He will get the job done. The young Shikamaru, he will say it's a drag and he'll be lazy to do, but he'll get it done. But as an adult, he's lazy, but he'll get the shit done, and he will not call it a drag. He will just, do his homework, do what he got to do. So the nonchalant character, I really fuck with Akoro Gun with the granny vibe.
No, 100%. Even when as they were flying down from the from jumping off the cliff, if you peep, he transforms just for 1 second to like kind of like hold her down before they actually fall down, because going down in that full force, they're gonna die.
Yeah, you're dead.
But the fact that he actually thought about that beforehand, transform real quick to like hold her and then go back down so she falls on top of him, was very smart in there. And through an anime standpoint, a story point, that makes a lot of sense. You can't just like all fall down like, oh yeah, it's anime, I'm gonna have some scratch. But no, like he was smart about how he landed his fall, and I personally liked how they thought ahead of that.
I will say Ayase really expanding her powers was really good, showing that she was having a tough struggle with the granny in the tunnel first, and then explaining to Okoroko like, hey, if we want to win, we gotta get running. And I love how it just shows that the comedy between the granny and Ayase is gonna be hilarious moving forward. Of the granny just saying like, you little peep squeak, like you can't hold me, but then we see Ayase literally holding her and squeezing her throughout the whole time, and her becoming like a little type of little small demon neck little thing outside of Kurokun, reminding me of the show of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, of the little small demon eye, I think father, like the little small black thing. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Okay.
How about you? Any high remarks, highlights of what else drew you? Like, we spoke about the animation, we spoke about you being crazy to eat the crab and everything. We spoke the fight, we spoke about the ending, the goodbye. How did you feel? What else about the granny coming in? Like, girl was prepared, and she also was impressed. I love the shot of how the red outside of the town, and then the regular night sky right behind it. It was beautiful.
So for the red part, like it's to show like the where it's her domain, her territory. You can't go past that, right? So I like that they showed it for us. Not that we were like, I guess for any newcomers too. I think like you could tell what is her area, what isn't. But it was nice to see that regardless. It's a nice little aspect they put in the anime. My thing, what I take from that anime, but from that episode specifically, was the lore behind Turbo Granny and the girls that were mistreated, abused, raped, and that it's not spoken about, but those things actually do happen. And the fact that Turbo Granny isn't as evil as most people say, that she was kind of like there for those spirits when nobody else was, says a lot about a person. Of course, she used them for her own ill will purposes, of course, which is bad. I get that, but still, like you really. It goes back to that one quote when they were leaving, the tunnel. And I personally, as a person, do this anyways. Like, you don't mess with the dead, and the dead shouldn't mess with you. That's usually how it goes, and that's how it always should be.
I love that phrase because there's in most folklores of storytelling, that literally in the phrase of Cinco de Mayo, it's literally you are celebrating and appreciating the dead, and you are you dress as them to appreciate them. So for anybody that knows the lore of that or any type of other folklore of the dead, I love that you brought that up because I totally forgot about that saying. But thank you, because it speaks facts to the character of what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that they spoke on that because as somebody who has driven around, you find a lot of roadkill on streets if you drive around, right? And the thing that I personally do myself, if I could try to avoid any roadkill, I kind of do, because anything that is alive, even insects itself, you try to stay away from like killing it or whatever, because it's a soul. It's the same concept with this. Like if you do see a dead body or you see something that is not in this life anymore, you apologize, give it praise, like hope, rest in peace, and you walk away from it. Same thing when you go to a graveyard, you kind of feel like there's like bit of a sadness in you that entity is not here in this world with us, but it's for a good reason. And of course, because it's still not there, you still give respect for it. And that's what I took away from this episode, that Turbo Granny is not there. It's just a spirit that's still in this world that should not be in this world. The people that were mistreated and everything still in this world that should not be here. give it, a rest in peace. Let them know, like, I hope you go to the, faraway lands and you enjoy whatever it is that expected you over there. And the same applies to them. I would not want no spirit haunting me or possessing me or, trying to get into, my whole being, trying to tell everybody, yeah, wreck the girlfriend is the worst thing in the world. No, it is, but no, that's a nice lesson that most animes don't really tell. And I'm glad that it's bringing that up in at least this episode. I'm very curious because I did watch the preview. I'm very curious to see what the new character. I think it's the girl with the pink hair. If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
Aira is her last name, and Shiratori is her first name.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how she's gonna fit in. I think I saw hand holding in the preview. I know there's some type of like a spark of romance there. That's what I'm waiting for. I know it's not gonna be nothing crazy, but I'm still like, they're back to school. How they're gonna act towards each other? They're gonna act like friends. They're gonna act like, I don't know you type. I'm personally just waiting to see that.
Yeah, I'm curious as well of where the story could lead up to for next episode 5. I'm hyped for it. I would say I agree with what you mentioned, Crash, about the characters that we have, and what they spoke about the ideology of death and respecting one another. To me, was very beautiful and very. Granny, the one saying it, made it feel more impactful because it shows that she has seen her shit and why she's the way she is and why she doesn't care that people don't believe in it, because she knows it's real and she understands what goes through all that. So I really appreciate that Granny said it, and her tone in the dub was very well done. I don't know how the sub was, but the tone was very well done to explain of how you gotta respect the dead and be as the characters living. Really curious to see how Ayase and our boy Okurkun work together with Granny, to take that, because we know that's most likely going to happen, because Granny be like, hey, it seems like I didn't take a Tobro Baba, like, what's going on here. So I assume that's going to happen for episode 4, because how we're going to see his character to get back powers. I'm very excited for that. And the fine animation, I do want to say the musical score was really beautiful and top notch.
Yes,
The score
100%.
really made it feel like they was going on a race. They was running away. But one thing that I want to know by episode 4 is that any of the city damage.
Episode 5.
Sorry, episode 5. Thank you. Any of the city damage, was that anything that happened in the real world, or is that something that happens only in her domain that gets refixed after she's gone? So
Yeah.
so that's something I'm curious, because I know it can Bleach or other type of horror type of animes that has ghouls and everything. What happens when they meet up only happens in their type of spirit or underworld type of aspect, and then once it gets clear, everything gets back to normal. So I'm really curious about that when it comes to our world of Dun, that with that explosion back in the spaceship. Was that still there? Like, was the spaceship still there? Like,
It's funny we haven't heard about that since episode 1. Like nobody has spoke about it. Just the
like,
newspapers.
is the forest still burned? Like, did the forest lose a good 100 acres of trees? So any type of discussion about that. So that's my curious question, knowledge about the world that we're in for the shonen series. That's so I can understand that when it becomes red, is that something that only happens when their world is here? And then, for example, when they destroy the whole building because they dropped from 200 feet in the air, a whole building got destroyed because of the crab. So, and also the hot spring got destroyed too and cooked the crab, so they got a crab. But does the hot spring get fixed once that gets destroyed or gone? Or does the granny do some magic? She like, boom, done, fixed. I don't know.
I mean, you want to and I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm saying the anime is great, but if I'm really gonna nitpick, right, you could also even go back to episode 2, episode 2, beginning of episode 3, right, where Granny was fighting, Turbo Granny. The floor of her front entrance should be messed up, but yet when you look back at episode 4, it's completely fine. So the real question is, is everything happening in the spirit world and is being destroyed? Or not. That's a good thing to bring up for the review in general. But also, I think to that too, we've seen a lot of spirits. Are we gonna get any aliens? Maybe in episode 5, episode 6.
Yes. So I wonder if we're gonna get a balance, because I know there's gonna be more introduction to new alien species. Are there gonna be gangs of them, mafia? Because we see them as a group in Aliens, but then there's gonna be a spirit ones. So It's gonna be hype. Other than that, we have no more thoughts about this review of dun 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 dun. Also,
I hope it
the
still stays the same way.
song "Fuck Rock" still. I just want to say that too.
What, the classical one with the remix?
No. The song, the opening song, still
The
is
opening.
amazing.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, wait, no, we just talking about the musical aspect. Oh, I was about to go crazy on you. No, I that's the one opening I am not skipping this season. That goes hard every single time. I know my friends in the anime community are bumping that on the way to work, on the way to school. So definitely, this song, this opening is going to be one of the top contenders on the Crunchyroll Awards next year.
Oh,
I'm
for
actually looking forward to
opening of the
that.
year. Oh, I will not be shocked if it doesn't if it does win. If it doesn't win, I'm like, who's the contenders? Who's the fuck is the contenders?
That's what I'm saying. The contenders will be that and Oshinoko Season 2, because that opening was just as good. That's very tough.
Haven't seen it or heard it, so I can't say.
See, so I would give it a listen for Season 2, because Season 1, that opening last year, straight fire. Like, no one can, without doubt in the mind, that was like, everyone was, it was even on the billboards, the top 100. That's how good it was. Everyone was listening to that. Now, Season 2 was just as good, but is it just as good as Dun Dun Dun? That's the big question to see. That I'm looking forward to see for next year.
So, understood about the big question for next week as we come into the conclusion of our show. My question is to Crash your reflection. So, this wraps up our first episode of the official Off Da Binge show. People can see episode 0, get to know us, see our summer season, our pick for the fall. But here is our weekly review. How did you feel about this episode? What was it? Our tackling our first show format.
First, I want to say thank you for everyone for watching this podcast, this series. It's been a blessing to be a part of it. It feels great having to explain my hot takes to the anime community, to my friends, to my family. A lot of people have been asking for a lot of this, in writing, but now doing it, on a streaming service, to explain how I really feel about it really makes me feel more in depth of more of my explanations. Hearing my voice, explaining all of it to you rather than writing, is another way to understand more of my perspectives and opinions about the seasonal animes that I'm really watching. And more than anything, I more than anything like to see the reactions of everyone of when I say something is great, something is not, when they don't feel the same way. But that's the beauty of it. That's the feeling. That's the beauty of it, that anime is a big subjective concept.
Very.
Everything's gonna be very good and everything's gonna be very bad, and we're all gonna have our different opinions about it, and nobody's right or wrong with it. So take everything we say with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide whether you want to give it a chance or not. We're just here, as reviewers, as podcasters, just to explain and give you a little more information in depth about how we feel about it.
For myself, I think we hit a good stride. I'm excited to see how this grows, and I'm really looking forward to diving deeper into our fall 24 lineup in the coming weeks, and to find our groove more into what we're gonna do, our format. Chat, let us know how you guys want the format of our seasonal anime discussion, because this is a fully anime seasonal focused podcast, and I want it to be enjoyable for you guys. We appreciate the support on the new main channel. The vault will still be existing for gaming content, other stuff in that incursion. When it comes to the new main channel, will be the Off the Bench podcast coming out every weekend, anime podcast coming out every Thursday mornings, Shonen Roni coming out every Monday mornings for our manga content. So we'll be having content coming out all the time. And if you guys want any type of separate clips to be on its own, so you can watch it on its own, there's always be time code in the description down below. So without further ado, stay tuned for episode 2, where we continue to explore on the best animes of this season and for the high on flop take, plus maybe a few surprises on the way. So thank you for listening to Off the Binge from myself, as Legendary Vash, for the Asika adventure, and
Crash, aka the Hispanic Assassin, the guy who got betrayed by his waifu once more.
we see you in the next one for episode 2 next week.
Peace, guys.